It is Monday, February 1st. We are live from Instagram. Captain America might be back, but how? We watched Palmer and The Little Things, plus big things ahead on this week's episode. This is Mostly Superheroes. Hello. Welcome to Mostly Superheroes. I'm your host, Logan. Happy Monday. How are you doing? Is this going to be one of these good Mondays? Are you having a good Monday out there? Are you having a bad Monday? Is it just middle of the road? Well, listen, either you're whether you're a new listener or you're a lifetime fan, we're here to talk about some fun stuff, hopefully lift you up on this Monday, our first day of February. It is Black History Month, kicks off today. And we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Some new news that happened over the weekend since we last saw you guys. And want to catch you up on what's happened to Mostly Superheroes. If you're listening each week, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Well, we have our YouTube channel as well. If you are listening for the very first time, the last thing we did last week, we had our first in-episode guest, Imran from the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talked about WandaVision episode 3, and we're doing some MCU rewatches in a really fun way where we actually break open some of the original MCU films before we talk about new stuff like WandaVision each and every week. Last week's movie was Thor. We broke it open. It's just waiting for you. Wherever you get your podcast, go check out Season 2, Episode 3 of Mostly Superheroes. It's also on YouTube and, of course, at mostlysuperheroes.com, where we're doing something new every single day, up in our podcast content, giving you more on social media, and hopefully you're enjoying the rhythm that we're finding here on the show. I know the schedule has been super handy for me working on the show. Hopefully it's helpful for you as a fan to kind of see how the show goes up and down when we looking at stuff. And we're going to talk about some really fun What You Watching, which we do on Sundays. We got two big things today. Before that, though, I want to cover just the recent news that came in over the weekend. With that, let's get into news and rumors.
News and rumors.
First up, in the DC live action world, we're talking a lot about MCU stuff here lately. Want to definitely keep the DC stuff in the loop. We do have the Justice League Snyder Cut coming. There is a date, I believe. It's March something. It's off the top of my head. I don't have it off the top of my head. Zack Snyder put it out there. I want to say like 18th, but I feel like I always naturally cling to that day, like the 18th. So it is coming in March, though, folks. This is outside of that, but same character, same world. We're talking about Aquaman 2. This is coming at us from comicbook.com. Appreciate you guys over at Comic Book. Looks like they are starting to shoot the sequel to Aquaman, starring Jason Momoa, coming this summer. Dolph Lundgren was the one that came out and said this. And it looks like they're going to be doing some shooting in London. I've also heard that Black Mantis is going to be reprised in the movie. Now, I that might be more Rumorville. Something to keep an eye out. We're excited. The film is coming December 16th, 2022. Seems kind of far away, but not really. I mean, that's going to be at the, well, no, that's the end of next year. We're pretty far out, okay, for Aquaman 2. Now, will I watch it? Yeah, of course. How excited am I about it? I would say, kind of lukewarm. How do you feel about it? Is this Aquaman your guy? Do you want to see this film? Let us know. Also from Comic Book, this is some very recent stuff. This was on their e-blast this morning. WandaVision mid-season trailer and poster released. We are, of course, talking about WandaVision, the TV series, week by week on this show. I'm going to be honest with you folks. I did not watch this trailer, and I don't think I will, unless I just can't help myself and it's like in front of me on social media and I just can't help myself. I'm not going to seek it out. Let's put it that way. But I wanted to make sure because if you're, want to stay up to date with the trailer and whatnot, you should go look it up. I'm sure you can find it at comicbook.com. That's where I'm reading this article from. And why am I avoiding it? I just don't want any spoilers. I've said this before on this show. You get to trailer 2, 3, 4, especially we're already 4 episodes into the show, and you're giving me a new trailer. Is that cool? Yeah, of course. You're sharing more content. I just like to see the show now. I like to watch the episodes, let things play out as they play out. Speaking of which, though, we will be talking about WandaVision episode 4 in our episode this week. Watch for that. Still in the MCU land. Man, I am most excited for this title. There is no question. I'm, of course, talking about Thor, Love and Thunder. This is another one of those things that's out there that I didn't really look at with a microscope. I looked at it more as just like, okay, cool. Yeah, they're doing it. These are set photos from the film showing Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth along with other characters. Nebula, Mantis, I think, was in a couple. These are set photos from the movie. Yes, they're leaked. They're out. Again, I don't want to see too much, but you might love that stuff, right? You might be a fan that's like, well, I'd like to see that stuff. Well, now you know about it. That's from Comic Book. There are some set photos. The most exciting part for me is that this film is just getting made. It's so exciting. I feel like it's going to be Thor Ragnarok just like up 5 levels. They just turn it up from an 11 to a 20. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see how Jane Foster comes back into the story. We'll be talking about Thor: The Dark World and Thor Ragnarok coming up in the show as we are doing this really fun MCU rewatch. So don't worry. You're going to get all that coming up on the show. We're connecting all the dots from future stuff to past stuff, making this stuff really comprehensive for you as a listener, as an MCU fan. TV is more complicated now than it's ever been before, and we're here to help. Can't wait to see more on Love and Thunder. What I'll really be excited for is the trailer for this one, and we'll let you know when we see it. Last up, this is all Rumorville now. Kind of lead off with the news, end up with some rumors, then we're going to get into what you watching for today. If you've noticed, these Monday episodes are a little tighter. They're just a little bit of an update. Hope you're enjoying them. Get you warmed up for the big episode with PC Mike, myself, and the Giggler, which this week we are talking Captain America, the First Avenger. Hell yeah. Going to revisit the film, give you guys a breakdown of the story, how it connects to future stuff today. We'll rate it. That's happening this week. This list of rumors, I should say, comes at us from Cinema Blend. Sarah L. Mahmood, published January 31st. This is 5 ways Chris Evans could return to the MCU following Avengers Endgame. And there are just 5 of them. I wanted to run through them real quick. This rumor came around, 2 weeks ago, that Captain America is coming back. This is why we put it in Rumorville, because Chris Evans tweeted news to me, which means this is unconfirmed, first of all. So let's all just keep our wits about us. That being said, seeing the success, at least in my eyes, of WandaVision so far, especially after episode 4, and the way that it's going, gosh, if you're multiverse jumping and stuff and you're bouncing all around and there's a way to bring this character back in a way, here's the other side of how I feel about this. You gave this character a sign-off. That being said, is it fun to theorize how he could come back? Absolutely. That's what this podcast is all about. So thanks, Cinema Blend, for putting this list together. Let's run through the list. Number 1, this is the theory that Captain America, the old man Captain America, we're getting into spoilers now for the MCU and Avengers Endgame. There's your heads up. That the old Cap that we see give the shield to Sam Wilson in the movie, it comes back. Like, you get this older Captain America that's like maybe around somehow. He's lived his full life. I think this is kind of lame. It'd be kind of weird to see this older Captain America just always around, either in a TV show or a movie. We'll see. Next up, makes total sense. The Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie, which is coming. It's going to be a direct connection to WandaVision, Spider-Man Far From Home. We know this now. there's so many theories that you could really bump into him at any point in the multiverse. Well, multiverse is, yeah, you could. I mean, that's the whole point of the multiverse. And this theory, though, is that you actually maybe meet an evil Captain America that maybe was, turned by Hydra or found early by Hydra. And who knows? That would be kind of crazy to see Chris Evans come back and playing like this fully developed evil Captain America. I think it would like really hurt. Like it'd be like hard to watch. You'd be like, no, we gotta. It'd make for some good storytelling. You got these like young Avengers trying to maybe save Steve Rogers from himself, and can he be saved, or is he truly a villain? And then you get into all this fundamental storytelling pieces like, are you made by your surroundings? Are you born a hero? You get all this kind of these big questions. I guess it would be interesting to see. It's just a lot to take on. Let's see what they do, if anything. Take all this with a grain of salt. There are some theories that we could see Captain America and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania. So this is going to be the third Ant-Man film, now including the Wasp in the title. I love it. And the quantum realm, of course, is how you can. It's a way of jumping around the multiverse. It's a way of time traveling to other timelines. So of course, this could be the film that brings it in. More likely than just your maybe Falcon and Winter Soldier, even though that's like his world. Like unless they're mixing in multiverse stuff, like or the older Cap, like we've already mentioned. I think it's be more of this route of like maybe we bump into Cap while he's putting away Infinity Stones or something, because we know that's what he does at the end of Endgame. There's also a theory here that he could be part of the Secret Invasion storyline. This is Director Fury, Nick Fury, working with what are the Skrulls, of course, from Captain Marvel, and then spoiler alert for Spider-Man: Far From Home. We also find out that they're all working together. So there might be something here where Secret Invasion take over well-known identities in order to infiltrate someone. So you could have someone pretending to be Captain America, and then like it's Chris Evans obviously playing him, right? So that'd be kind of cool. It's just like maybe it's only for like 10 minutes or something, and you I don't know. Do you only bring back Captain America for a short little bit? This seems like something that would have to be played out over a whole season, and then like a big reveal or something. I think this is number 5. Yeah, last one. I don't mind this. I think it'd be very different from movies like The Winter Soldier. But the theory here, again, from Cinema Blend, appreciate this article from you guys, a Steve and Peggy spinoff. So again, we know that that old Cap, ended up going back, living a full life with Peggy. We could have a whole show that's just about that, and then maybe you get like Captain America trying to be this normal guy, but what happens when things happen around him, because he is still Captain America. Hey, lots of fun stuff. Do you have theories on Captain America? What's on your wish list? If Chris Evans comes back into the MCU, what would you want to see? Let us know at mostlysuperheroes.com/contact. We would love to feature you on the show. That's it for our news and rumors today. Let's get into our next section.
What you watching?
What you watching? This is where we do spoiler-free reviews. Starting to incorporate that a little more often, so these are spoiler-free reviews, because I never know if you've seen this. Honestly, a lot of the goal of this show is to help you navigate what to watch, what's out there, what's worth it, what's not. So that means most of the time, I assume, you haven't seen what we're talking about. But if you have, you're, of course, going to still enjoy these. First of all, we do What You Watching on Sundays. It's on our social media accounts. You can always see what we're watching that week. And every single week, you could be in the know what we're watching, and you could also tell us what you're watching and probably get featured on the show. Go subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. That's where we're throwing those things out there every Sunday. This week, we, being myself and my fiance Carrie, did watch two big films that have been the talk of the town lately. First up was the much anticipated movie with Denzel Washington and Jared Leto, The Little Things. A little bit about the film before we give our take and our review. Synopsis for you if you're not familiar. These are some big names, right? You got Deputy Sheriff Joe Deke Deacon joins forces with Sergeant Jim Baxter to search for a serial killer who's terrorizing Los Angeles. As they track the culprit, Baxter, so this is, I forget his name, he's the guy that played Freddie Mercury, is unaware that the investigation is dredging upon echoes of Deke's past. So Joe Deke Deacon is played by Denzel Washington, uncovering disturbing secrets that could threaten more than his case. This movie just came out. It was on January 29th, and it is streaming on HBO Max. It was directed by John Lee Hancock. Screenplay was also by Hancock. Produced by Hancock and Johnson, and cinematography by John Schwartzman. Let's talk about what we thought about it, and we'll tell you about what the world thought about it. So we watch it, okay? Denzel Washington's in a movie. What's the last movie he was in? I can't even, off the top of my head, I can't tell you. And Jared Leto, I love him. I think he's just so creepy. And he looked really great on the poster of this. I don't even know if I ever saw a full trailer for the movie, if I'm being completely honest. But it had been talked about. Friends have been recommending it. It starts off hot. Again, this will be spoiler-free, I promise. But this is my overall, take a step back from the movie. It starts off hot. Levels out at about lukewarm. I have to echo Becca. We did get some fan mail from our squad out there. Becca on Instagram reached out. She said it was okay. Becca, I totally agree. That's kind of the feeling I had when we got done with the movie. You can follow Becca on Instagram. She's becca.fit.life. Appreciate that. That's how easy it is to get featured on this show. Give us your thoughts on a film. And I agree. It was lukewarm. It starts off real hot, sets up these great, awesome characters with a lot of history, a lot of past, and you're like, how are these folks going to interact with each other? I feel like the story kind of loses its way, and, it's like, where's this thing going? It's kind of how I felt. And, whenever you end up on your phone during a movie, for me personally, that's when I know that it's just lost me in that moment. I put it back down, though. I was like, pay attention. Let's get this good, honest review on it. Now, would I rewatch The Little Things? I would say absolutely not. The only way I would is if you guys really push for it and you're like, give this another chance, because I believe in second chances for films as well. Like, good example. I watched Lost the first time. I didn't like it. Now I watch that more than any show, just because I gave it that second chance. So maybe we'll revisit one day. I think there's some deep themes in this movie. I know a lot about people's past and what they do in present day and how much your past matters. Ask a lot of those important questions. Would I recommend you to watch the movie? I would say maybe. And the reason I say maybe is because if you're a Denzel Washington fan or you're a Jared Leto fan, then absolutely. Like, you get some amazing acting in the film, some really powerful scenes. It's a beautiful looking movie. It's just the story that kind of falls short. So you make the decision for yourself if you want to, unpack this movie that, maybe doesn't have the best story, but will give you something nice to look at. And with that, we're going to give it a very honest rating using our 4.0 scale. Coming at you fresh from Logan is a 2.5. Yeah, I clap. I mean, it's not a boo moment for sure. I mean, maybe I need something in between, just kind of like just like a weak little golf clap or something that's not as big as that thing. Because 2.5 it's strong. But it's just like, again, we've already covered what we thought. So what do you think of the movie? Did you watch The Little Things? What did you think? Write into the show. Let us know. It's all happening at mostlysuperheroes.com. Next up, last what you watching for the day. Justin Timberlake is back in the spotlight. Well, I'll say more in the spotlight. I mean, he's Justin Timberlake. He did just perform on Inauguration Day. I know that. And he said on Fallon that he's working on a new album. So you can look forward to that. But he's back in the sense that he's back in the movie spotlight with his latest film, Palmer, now streaming on Apple TV+. Just going to say right away, I like this movie. Can't wait to tell you about it. Just a little background, though, because I talk to a lot of friends about what we watch. And, we have all these group chats and stuff. And one thing I've heard is like, do I have Apple TV Plus? And if I'm correct, I believe Apple is still offering Apple TV Plus kind of for free for most people. Like if you've bought a new iPhone or if you've got like a new Apple subscription to anything lately or bought a new device, they're like giving this away so people will try it. I've also heard that there's like some sneaky good stuff on this in terms of TV shows and movies. So, takeaway there is you might actually already have Apple TV Plus and you don't even know it. So if you're wondering like, oh, maybe I do, get in there and check it out because there are some things. I definitely recommend the morning show, and there's a lot of other stuff that that's starting to catch my eye. Ted Lasso is I just keep thinking I'm gonna end up watching that Jason Sudeikis show. And I'll tell you right now, whenever I heard there was a new JT film out, I jumped right at the chance to watch it. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. I'm a huge Justin Timberlake fan. I think he's so cool, like the coolest dude. And let me tell you, he has done it again, Palmer, keeping it spoiler free as always. Oh, I forgot to give you the other ratings for the little things. All right, so we'll go back. So I gave the little things a 2.5. So the rest of the world, this is where they kind of stood. I want to make sure you do hear about the reviews that are happening out there. On IMDb, 6.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, 47%. Metacritic, 54%. And Google users, 68% of Google users liked the movie. I'm glad I didn't miss that. I want to make sure you have a well-rounded perspective of what people are saying about the movie, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to decide for yourself. Going back to Palmer, let's read the synopsis for the film. After 12 years in prison, former high school football star Eddie Palmer, that is Justin Timberlake, returns home to put his life back together and forms an unlikely bond with Sam, an outcast boy from a troubled home. But Eddie's past threatens to ruin his new life and his family. The movie came out, it just came out too, January 29th, 2021, directed by Fisher Stevens. Listen to this. Budget, $6.7 million. Incredibly low, in my opinion. Screenplay, Cheryl Guerrero, and produced by Sidney Kimball, Charlie Corwin, John Pinotti, Charles B. Wessler, and Daniel Nadler. All right, let's give it our fresh take and rating. Again, spoiler free. This is a good story. All right, it's a movie about a person going through something personal and then showing this person navigate their lives as someone that's part of a community of people. All right, in this case, it's a small town. You know, you're getting my take right now. I'll tell you right now, this was a movie that resonated with me personally. I grew up in a small town. It was every small town thing that you could think of was there. The gossip, the churches, the local bar, the friends that you see, you know, like years apart, and you know, you kind of go back and not a lot's changed. Nothing good or bad about that. That's just the life of a small town. It very much comes to life in this movie. And then coming back to that small town with you know, new experiences. Talk about an experience. This guy's been in prison 12 years. And it's again, keeping it totally spoiler free. I think the premise alone is going to keep you guessing here, probably get you like, oh, maybe I'll have to check this out. It's a movie to me that proved that you know, if you have a few key things, you can have a great new movie. You know, solid acting, solid location, you got good music, very intentional, very well done camera work. And also, this is what's key, I learned here, is you don't need a massive movie budget. This was $6.7 million. So it's just, you know, in terms of movie budgets, that's pretty low. You know, you got a name like Justin Timberlake. Does that mean he didn't get, you know, does he take a lower pay? Did it not take as long to, I don't know. You know, these are the questions I ask. I enjoyed it. I think Justin Timberlake shows us again, he's a great actor, and he doesn't disappoint you in this one. I think this is a story of redemption and following your instincts. Get over and check it out. I absolutely recommend it. I could see myself watching this again in a couple years. You know, I really enjoyed it. If I'm being honest, I probably don't need the rewatch, but, you know, 2-3 years go by, I could see us putting this back on. I would definitely call it a must-see. Let's go ahead and give it our honest rating. Here on Mostly Superheroes, talking Palmer, starring Justin Timberlake. We're going to put it at a 3.3. Did you watch Palmer? What did you think? Send us your thoughts, your rating using our 4.0 Mostly scale, and we'll feature you on the show. Get over to mostlysuperheroes.com/coming up. /contact. And now let's talk about what's coming up on the show. Always a lot happening week by week. We're a weekly podcast with tucked in content in between with live Instagram shows. We're trying out this new thing, actually. On Wednesdays, we're live at 12. We're doing Last Week Wednesday, where you get to see last week's episode in full on Twitch, live streamed. I'm there in the chat, chatting with you, answering questions, brainstorming new stuff. Time it this way so that on Thursday's the day that you get our new episode everywhere you get your podcast and YouTube. So getting you primed and ready. Watch for those live shows, 12 p.m. Central, every Wednesday on Twitch. This week on the show, Mostly Superheroes, we'll be talking WandaVision, Episode 4. Man, oh man, this show is keeping me entertained. I'm having so much fun. I'm already sad about it ending. And there's, 6, 5, or... I saw that there were possibly 10 episodes of this thing. I saw a rumor this morning that there were maybe 10. You guys tell me, is that true? Because last I heard it was 9. Regardless, excited to keep talking about it, and we break it wide open. And this week, they really opened up the whole world of the MCU, and we're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about Captain America, the First Avenger. And again, we're doing this MCU rewatch. This is what I'm enjoying about these. They're getting a lot. So what we do is we open with an OG MCU flick, like Captain America, the First Avenger. We talk about it quickly, very quickly, just go through when did it come out, what was the budget, how much did it make, highlight the story points that matter, especially for how they matter tied to new MCU stuff. And then in the show, we go right into the new Phase 4 project. So right now, that's WandaVision. Next up will be Falcon and Winter Soldier. After that will be Loki. We'll also have Black Widow coming out around that time. And this is really fun, guys. We're seeing basically grounding ourselves with the OG MCU stuff and helping us see how it all connects, helping you feel more comfortable as you watch the new shows. And this week is Captain America, the First Avenger. Get ready for it. And lastly, we are taking official submissions for the Mostly Madness movie tournament. We're tying the schedule right along with March Madness. And it's going to be fun. We're taking submissions because we are still kind of figuring out exactly what categories we want to live and play with. Do we do it by movie genre? I feel like superhero category might have to be its own thing. These are things we have to decide. But the beauty of this is it's your opportunity as a fan, as a listener, as a viewer, to say, what's my favorite movie? What are my top 5 favorite movies? And then maybe I think that a lot of the choices that you guys send us in, that we decide ourselves, myself, Carrie, PC Mike the Giggler, we're going to come up with our own movies. It's going to become kind of more clear what the buckets are. But you can count on probably 32 movie tournament. It's going to be heavily based on Twitter, and we're using the hashtag Mostly Madness. Tag us on any social channel, use that hashtag, and we'll get your movies entered into the tournament. Stay up to date on the website and our social channels to see what comes next on the Mostly Madness movie tournament, the movie tournament to end all movie tournaments, or at least the first one that we're going to do for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing something new every day on the show. These live shows are a blast. Hope you're enjoying the quick content updates over the weekend, getting you primed and ready for the new episode of Mostly Superheroes that'll drop on Thursday. Everywhere you get your podcast and on YouTube and on Patreon. We are fully on Patreon now. Exclusive content there for our patrons. Appreciate all you guys for listening and being part of the show. And speaking of being a part of the show, as we wrap up today, if you're wanting to get more involved and brainstorm stuff that you're watching, brainstorm theories, talk about stuff with the squad, as we call it, you can do that in 2 ways. You can go to mostlysuperheroes.com/squad. This is a password-protected site just for you guys. And this week's password with a capital S is SHIELD. SHIELD. Give it up. Watching Captain America. It's also like a play on words there. Obviously, shield and shield. You don't have to use, it's not like shield, the organization with periods or anything. It's just the word shield, capital S. It's where we put our live shows from Monday So you can always get the video content there on the page. We don't put that anywhere else, along with any other exclusive content we put together. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at our website. We've been sending out a new newsletter. Thank you to you guys. Hope you're appreciating that exclusive content. This week we shared my instant reaction of WandaVision episode 4. That doesn't go anywhere else but our newsletter subscribers. Trying to give all you guys that are going the extra mile for us, I want to give you something, go the extra mile for you. So you can always watch for that exclusive content if you're going the extra mile on Mostly Superheroes. Speaking of which, last place to find us is Mostly Superheroes Squad, the Facebook page. Totally free to join. We do What You Watching in there every Sunday. We got a good crew. Lots of fun stuff always happening in the show. And we can't wait for the big episode this week. PC, Mike, myself, the Giggler, Carrie, we all appreciate you. Thanks so much. Let's have a great week. Keep grinding. You're doing you. We're doing us. We're here for you. We're going to keep talking about movies and TV, keep you informed, keep you in the know. And the MCU is still just swinging right now. We'll see you next time on Mostly Superheroes. Have a good one.